Hello, hello, my lovely Ligas. Alright. So we're gonna be playing, not a jungle position. Okay, relic shield. Health pods, health pods. We're not gonna take any health pods. Just because, like, the consistency of, their, of this elo in, like, applying damage just isn't there. Do they have any AoE? I mean, TF could throw out his card. Soraka could throw down her heal. I guess that's not impactful enough. There's her heal. Yeah. So the plan is we're going to try to influence the mid lane. And anytime that we can, help the mid laner is the way to go. Caitlyn has Draven has has a damage advantage. Okay. That was a decent trade. But with Soraka, she'll just be able to heal it back up. Didn't get that, dang it. Yeah, this lane is gonna be rough. Just because Soraka can pretty much heal up damage that we pump out. And go back. Okay, so we're gonna get some. What did we get here? Boots? Yeah, let's get some boots. Well, we'll get one pod, and we'll get that. I'm gonna try to influence influence the mid lane. Okay. Kate. Alright. But the other lanes are doing good. You might have shown weak. Nope. Okay. So we'll try to there we go. Not too bad. Not too shabarooski. The issue with bot lane is I see you trying to out-trade Draven Kate. Yeah. Kate is trying to out-trade a Draven Soraka lane. She just doesn't understand the match up. I'll have to leave. Okay. We'll be leaving. Gonna be getting this item. We don't have to get that. And yeah, let's head out. So we're gonna ward for Caitlyn here. We're gonna ward right here and somewhere around here. But yeah. There's a small window. There's a small window. He's gone. Okay. He's still living. There we go. Alright. We'll get out. And then we'll go head back. Draven will use his ultimate in a silly way. But that wasn't too bad. Alright, so we're gonna grab that item, we're gonna grab that item. Head right back out onto the rift. Okay. Syndra might have Oh, Cinder's dead. Alright.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Mother always said, don't lose.
Okay, we're gonna put our ward here.
The darker the night, brighter the stars.
Get rid of that.
I wonder what's around next corner.
Come on, give it to me. uh she might have been targeting the wrong champ. Okay.
No time for worry.
That was earlier mentality when you thought you could trade with the Soraka Draven bot lane. Adios, buddy. Oh.
An enemy has been slain.
Hopefully I can get this. Yeah, easy peasy. We're just gonna wait to use somebody here. Oh, that didn't get it, really? Alright, we're still gonna block. Flash over. Yeah. Hopefully we can get out unscathed. Come on, Braum! Yeah. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna be taking that lovely item, that. Get out into the rift. We did actually get the Drake. That's fantastic.
Life is good, no?
Slow down Warwick.
An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
Throw down a ward. Slow down Warwick again. I can jump to use Sedge. Just set me up. Alright, there's the power of Soraka. But they didn't actually get the tower. Alright. Yasuo is not going to be good in this matchup. See if I can get it. Aw, dang. Let's see if we can get Scuttles though. Good job. Okay. So since we're getting into combat so much, we're going to be going for Knight's Vow. Kind of keeping track of everybody. Here we go. The Warwick. Oh, I need to
Shut down.
block off these boys.
An enemy has been slain.
Adios, buddy. Alright, so let's see if we can get our Knight's Vow. Not yet. But we did find out something interesting about the Draven. He's easily baited. He needed to reposition himself. There we go. Now we gotta go check out Baron. Gotta protect our carries here. The way that Caitlyn plays, I figured she was dead. I was just trying to give the percentages. But it was pretty good of them. Alright. Yeah, as frustrating it is as it is, I would like to do a little more than just to simply ping. Alright. But they just wasted their Baron buff. And things aren't gonna go so simply for them now. Cause they just wasted a Baron buff. Come on now. What are you doing? So about 4 minutes and 5 minutes on Baron. Plenty of time to set things up. Now the Draven likes to overextend here. So we're gonna be marking up these areas. Okay, Sejuani took the wrong pathing there. He's dead. Wrong pathing, Sedge. I'm gonna give her some Knight's Vow action. And what that's gonna do is allow me to take a lot of damage. It's gonna do a couple of things. It's gonna reduce damage. It's gonna return. All right. So that was not worth it. Okay, we're going to say no. Nah. Just need to listen to teammates. Boy, that was so dumb. I love you, Sedge. I do have to get out though. Hey, you still want some? What? I'm just gonna distract them. Maybe I can get to, no. We'll just distract him. We were too far up. Not about pathing. It was about being pushed up. I'm gonna get that lovely item and that lovely item. Okay, Sedge, you need to time. All right. All right, so we just got back into this one. Alright, so Dragon's gonna be next on the list. After we push some of this nonsense. Sedge, I can jump to you. Please assist me. Oh boy. No, you aren't taking into account your allies' abilities. Please take into account all allies' abilities. Just listen to me. Okay, that was bad. So all we can do at this point is just hang on for people. Didn't mean to do that. Oh my goodness, this game. Alright, so this is going to be an interesting one. So they can easily backdoor. I'm going to push that down. And get this other component. Got to turtle. We won't comment to Sejuani with that one. Let him get a little bigger ego about it. All right. Okay. Our inhibitors are coming back up. I swear to you. All right. We're getting things together, boys. Oh, did they really not do Baron yet? Okay, they got Elder. Don't think so, Bucko. There we go. I think that's game. That's... Ooh! That is game. Oh my gosh, we won! We won. What? Oh my gosh, that blows blows my mind. Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're gonna give Caitlyn tilt proof. Wow, we won. Great job, everybody. Oh man. So there's another example of maybe. So I flashed for the TF even though I didn't get him, and I even used my ultimate. But I got him away from the rest of the group. He had the ultimate in there, and we knew exactly where he'd come from. So me forcing TF out of the fight and forcing him to use a flash was actually worth it. His, like, my flash and well, I don't know about my ultimate, but I had my ultimate up pretty quick. But his flash from my flash was worth it. But so they were down some. He was down in flash and he was down in what do you call it? Down in a bit. Well, okay. Anyway, I'm just so floored the fact that we won that. But okay. So Caitlyn had a rough game. She that matchup is a difficult one because Draven will just keep healing up. You kind of have to wait for the jungler to help out, and Sejuani is a jungler that kind of meanders a bit in the jungle. You can still make her work, but she's not. All Draven has to do is flash out or something like that, and Soraka just has to heal, and they're ready to go. And then Sejuani would have wasted his or her time. So you really you really have to think about influencing other lanes, and this is by helping ganks with mid lane. Because mid lane's the closest, you're not going to charge all the way up the top to make a gank. But TF was stopped by me, Sejuani, and the mid laner, and I actually helped in just a solo gank for me. I helped Syndra, just me, and that worked too. Well, it forced him. Yeah, it did work, but I think Syndra went a little far and died herself. But Syndra with 18, 11, 13, I felt like she had a better sensibility about the game, and that could be like a big thing. One of the reasons why there was this one instance where I didn't follow Caitlyn. I followed Syndra. Her pathing was better towards the base, and Caitlyn just wasn't thinking about the team comp. They've got a lot of gap closing mechanics. Draven has a mechanic that if you catch, I think if you keep catching your throwy things, you keep catching your axes, it'll reset your speed up. So he has a follow-up mechanic. He has a gap closing mechanic. Get you closer to him as opposed to just running speed. And then Warwick, he's got several mechanics, and some that are just in his build. Like he's got Dead Man's Plate that's going to activate when he hasn't attacked anybody for a while, and it's going to speed him up. He's got Moby Boots. So as soon as these actives come up on his items, he's going to be racing towards your champion. Not to mention he's got Righteous Glory. I think this is a little over the top. I think it's a little over the top for the Warwick. As far as Warwick's farm is concerned, he's a little behind. But I think he was trying to be as effective as he could be on the map. However, like, as long as he was lasting, he could have lasted longer if he was tankier. Maybe that could have, you know, done certain things. Because Righteous Glory, I feel like, is a it's a move that either, I don't know, I feel like it fails more times than it succeeds because you really have to be coordinated, and at this level of elo, you know, the coordination skills are not there. So I would just go for a solid tank item. Randuin's Omen, I mean, that slows everyone in sort of like a small circle, and it's a solid item, which is going to reduce reduce Infinity Edge damage, reduce critical attack damage from both Yasuo and Caitlyn. And that's this item right here, Randuin's Omen. You just read the first line of the passive, meaning it's always active. 20% damage taken from basic attacks, critical attacks. So whenever a champion critical attacks you, this item will reduce that damage by 20%. Can you imagine if you got an A on a test and then suddenly the teacher is sporting some Randuin's Omen and he reduces your A to an 80, which in some cases is a B and in some cases is a C. Oh man, would you be upset? But anyway, so I got Redemption. I didn't get to use Redemption that much just because I'm not usually on a support that's using Redemption. The Soraka, I believe, was using Redemption fairly efficiently. This item, Knight's Vow, because it's primarily passive, I absorb lots of damage that Caitlyn is taking, and the damage that Caitlyn does to others will actually heal me for about 12%, and damage that I take, or damage that Caitlyn takes, is reduced by 12%. So it's like she does damage, she heals me by 12%. And also I can run to her at a faster pace. This is a solid object for a guy like Braum, because Braum is all about taking the damage. Taking that damage. A lot of times I was just slowing people's movements just to, you know, extend the time in which we had a chance to save tower or something. Little micro stuff. Or delaying, you know, if the enemy's moving across the map, delay them by slowing them down with a Q with Braum. But make sure you're not in a position where you're at risk. Make sure you got an out. Make sure you can get out. Alright, so the Sejuani, she had a rough game just like the rest of us, but she hung in there. And as far as the build goes, she's pretty much full tank, Cinder Hulk, and she's even got some Iceborne gauntlets for damage. I think she should have been, she would have been better if she would have gone, what is that one? Ice, it's the other ice thing that forms. It's a thing that, it's an item that reduces the speed of nearby enemies, the attack speed. And because of that is, Draven does so much with his attacks. I would also say that Sejuani should have gone for Randuin's Omen too, because most likely, Draven is going to be attacking Sejuani. So I think this is a mistake. It will add a little more damage, but we really don't need that little bit of damage coming from Sejuani. So Randuin's Omen, he should have gone. So this is an item mismanagement, item mistake. The Yasuo, this is interesting. He's got Thorn Mail. I guess maybe this is a thing that Yasuo's get for, I guess, some survivability. But why not get, well, anyway, what do I know? So, I guess it's because he's frontlining a lot and he doesn't want to get chunked. And this could be a good thing. Maybe I don't know my Yasuo good enough or well enough, but could he have done more damage? Or if he just wasn't confident in his skills, then sure, go defensive item. As far as how effective this was, I'm not sure because his laning opponent was TF. And how is this going to protect you against TF's magic? So this will protect against Draven, but what's protecting against the TF? I'm a little befuddled with this item right here, but maybe that's what Yasuo's get. The Syndra, she was coming out in style. Now Syndra is a late game champion. She blows people up. She's got full magic penetration items. She's got her Leandri's Torment and her Void Staff, which just does massive amounts of damage. And then she's got Rabadon's Deathcat is going to increase ability power by 35%. Not by a base number, but whatever her base is going to be increased with 35%. So she is a monster. And she can just keep it coming with her cooldown with more Necronomicon. It looks like she was building into her final item, but the game didn't get quite that far. However, most of their team have a full build. That's how strong late game Syndra is. She's got so much range. She's got so much attack. It's crazy. And you have to respect that. Caitlyn did finally get a build finishing up, and she got decent farm too. She actually outpaced Draven in farm. So it just goes to show you that you can be down so far, but you gotta look at all the aspects of what's going on in the game. And it's hard to do that. But at this elo, if you see mistakes, as soon as I saw that TF out of positioning, even though my team was way far away, I knew that that was a moment I could capitalize on. If I could get him away from their team who was doing Baron while my team was moving towards it, that's one guy that they don't have for the fight. And in the end, I believe Syndra stole Baron. So out of the desperation, it was kind of, that was what was crazy. I thought that they had gone for Baron already, but they actually split up. And in this case, it was not a good idea. They chose to get Baron and Infernal Drink, and I guess it could have worked, but at that point they had an item. They had a deficiency in damage. Not that it was a great deficiency, but it was a deficiency enough to swing the game. Because what had occurred, I know I saw Warwick down there, and maybe it was Tom Kench. That was a mistake to put two tanks down there. You could have put one damage dealer and one, but again, you wouldn't finish it that quick. So they should have all stayed together. They were just a little too headstrong in thinking that they could get those two objectives at the same time. They needed better coordination. And in the end, we pulled ourselves together. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love to say, like, oh man, we're behind. Guys, we gotta pull it together. And when you do, and you do make the smart plays, and the enemy is like, we had no idea. How could we have blown us up? How could we have done it? Now everybody gets excited about that. Now this is gonna be an exciting game. I hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, so as far as itemization is concerned, she's got Lord Dominic's Regards to deal with high health minions, high health champions. That includes Soraka, that includes Tom Kench, and the Warwick. So she's finally doing some good damage versus these tanks. Earlier on, she wasn't doing nearly as much damage, and we were losing fights because she doesn't do enough damage to the tanks. And she's got her crit item. I personally would pick Static Shiv over this, but whatever. She's got some survivability with Bloodthirster to get her health back. Finally, she's got Phantom Dancer, some mobility, and some more critical strike chance. So she is finally doing some damage with Lord Dominic's Regards against their high health tanks. So if you read this, anytime grants up to 20% physical damage against enemy champions with greater maximum health than you. And then plus 2% damage per 100 health difference, maxing at 1,000 health. So it only goes so far. It only goes to 1,000 health, but you're going to do 2% more damage. And it'll max out at 1,000. So what that means is, let's see, 2% per, okay, so you're going to have an additional 10% extra damage if they have that max health of 1,000. So anytime that you have a champion that has more health than you, you're going to do more damage. And depending on how much health that they have more than you, I believe, like if Caitlyn has 1,000, someone has to have at least 2,000 to do that maximum extra 10% more damage. And that really is big when you got Warwick and you have the Tom Kench, that they are just busting with healthy items. So that is a nice item to finally get, and Caitlyn finally doing some damage. So Draven, early game Draven is tough. There's a small window when you can try to get Soraka at level 2 or something, but it's almost a coin flip, and in this elo, it's not something that you should do. You should really think about later game plays and think about how the game would have progressed if I hadn't gone mid lane and influenced the Syndra to just be a monster. You know, you can only speculate as to how the game would have gone then. Would there have been 2 dead people at bot lane all the time? There would have been no kills in mid lane. You know, what's going on? And also wards are especially important too. And I'm sure, you know, all these little things, one is the game and the enemy is just scratching their head. What just happened? So yeah, the Draven got Static Shiv, he got some Yomus for some speed up, Dustblade of Drakthar, and then Lord Dominic's Regard for Sejuani and me. So these items make it so he does a lot of damage. And he needs to do a lot of damage because he's not a late game champion. He's an early game champion. That is why he dominated lane so hard against the Caitlyn. Now Caitlyn can harass, but she has a hard time trading against Draven, especially a Draven Soraka lane. So you just have to understand the matchup. And luckily, I understood the matchup and tried to do things as I saw fit. And Caitlyn was behind because I wasn't there for her. But I kind of had a feeling that she just didn't understand the matchup. But in the end, she was very useful. She kept her head on a swivel. She kept cool. And she was able to carry the game with the rest of us. Because we need Caitlyn. We need that damage. We can't say, "Hey, Caitlyn, you suck. You get out of here." We need you, Caitlyn. But yeah, I mean, 296 to Draven's 214. It's like almost they gave up. It's like at some point they realized that we can't crack their base anymore. And this is gone because it was getting pretty crazy there. We had supers like on all sides of us. To come back from that in this meta is pretty rare. So yeah, so the Warwick, he's got his, I talked about his items a little bit. So he's got tankiness as well as follow-up. I think this Righteous Glory is a mistake because at this elo, it's hard to collaborate with your team. Hey guys, typity type, I'm gonna go and pop my Righteous Glory and see what happens. I say just go for a solid tank. Randuin's Omen's solid tank. You can even slow people around you. The TF looks like standards TF stuff. He was dying a bit more than he probably liked, so he got Rod of Ages, and I think that's great. That's a great item to get because he was being bopped on quite a bit by a few people coming into his lane to gank, and Cinder was just cleaning house. So I think this is a solid item to get for survivability. And then Raka, pretty much you've got Spirit Visage for health. For magic because of the Syndra, yikes. The Arden Sensor for extra cooldown reduction. Helps with shields, it's standard on her. You got Mikkel's Crucible to help people unbind themselves, unsilence, whatever. So this is excellent itemization on Soraka. And finally, you have Boots of Mobility to quickly get to anyone to heal them. That's just fine. If she wanted to take something like Ninja Tabi to reduce some damage or whatever, this is probably the best way to go. The Tahm Kench, Righteous Glory could be a good thing on Tahm Kench because he is really tanky. Yeah. So yeah, I think this could be a good item on Tahm Kench. But Warwick, I feel like it's just overdoing it because you have so much follow-up already. Tahm Kench, he's got his R, but other than that, he really has no way to sort of initiate. But then once he starts initiating, he'll slow people forever, and then he's got Spirit Visage to deal with the Syndra, just doing a buttload of damage. But later on, they weren't equipped for the endgame Caitlyn, who was just finally outpacing with the damage. She was finally doing damage, and these guys hadn't built items. See, this cloth armor could be turning into a Randuin's Omen at some time, and that's how you should do it. You should get the items to assess the threats of the moment, and the Syndra was quite a threat at the moment, but in the end, they couldn't withstand the brutal onslaught of Caitlyn and her auto attacks, so they went down. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that awesome comeback game, man. If that wasn't a comeback game to knock your socks off, I don't know what is going to. All right, I will see you Ligarians later. Adios. Hey-o.